Welcome back. This is the Larry James Show. My question for you today is, do you finish what you start? Think about that right quick. Don't just yes. Because some people will say yes and then they'll think about it and they'll know differently. Do you finish what you start? A fellow once told me the quickest way to success is to finish what you start. Think about that. When I say that to you, what comes to your mind? Finish what you start, right? What should come to your mind is be selective on what you decide to start. Because what we do many times is we have a tendency to overload our proverbial plate. And before you know it, we have 5, 7, 10 things that we're trying to get accomplished at the same time. Now, I don't know who you've studied before, but I'm going to say this. It's not possible for you to give 100% to 5 different things. You can only give 100% of your attention to one thing at a time. Now, some things, granted, don't require 100% of your focus. But if it's important, for instance, you may have to read a chapter in a book for an exam, or you may have to watch a series of videos to understand how a certain process works. Those things are vital, so you have to pay attention to what's going on at that time. Now, my suggestion to you is to narrow down the number of things that you commit to. By doing that, you're able to give more attention and more effort to accomplishing what you begin. Does that make sense? Now, another thing that I suggest is not to overload yourself. Because when you overload yourself, you take away from the effectiveness that you can produce. And people will judge you by the effectiveness that you're able to do. For instance, if I want you to come out and shoot a photo shoot, maybe 10 photos of me in different clothing, different attire, and I want to be able to put those photos on my products. I don't want you to come by ready to take photos and having to do something else. I want your attention on the task at hand. Am I right or wrong? And you would want that too, right? So make sure that you're able to focus on what needs to be done and try and give as close to 100% of your focus to that task until it's done. That way you will pretty much be guaranteed that you got it right. And the second thing, if you do have to correct some errors, they're going to be minor because you're spending time and you're focusing on the result. Make sense? Speakwithlarry.com